ASEAN Dailies. First and the foremost news from Southeast Asia.
Good morning, this is Arlene and you're listening to Durian ASEAN. And of course, today's morning, I'm going to report to you the latest on the ASEAN news. So ASEAN parliamentarians condemn attacks on Cambodian lawmakers. Parliamentarians from the opposition party in Cambodia got attacked. Parliamentarians from across Southeast Asia today condemned the recent attack of the opposition lawmakers in Cambodia and called for an independent investigation into the incident. According to them, that evidence pointing to the direct involvement of ruling party leaders is particularly concerned, as is the fact that police took no action to prevent or stop the brutal violence. And it may be linked to the current Prime Minister Hun Sen, Prime Minister of Cambodia. Opposition members, including parliamentarians, have been repeatedly arrested and sentenced in recent months for their involvement in a non-violent acts or political protests, with concerns emerging that a new wave of political violence could be on the horizon. The ASEAN Parliamentarian Human Rights Group urged Cambodia ruling party to renounce violence and renew its commitment to a culture of dialogue with the opposition. And the culture of dialogue represents the most promising path forward towards peaceful democratic development in Cambodia. This is according to the ASEAN Parliamentarians for Human Rights. Moreover, on Cambodia Prime Minister, on the other hand, condemns attack on lawmakers, rails at opposition. Cambodian Prime Minister on Wednesday condemned a violent assault on two opposition parliamentarians as quote-unquote cheap and unforgivable, and took aim at political rivals for stemming tension with street protests that hurt the country's image. This is what he expressed on the other hand, which is kind of an ironic when according to a lot of the people in Southeast Asia, especially according to the ASEAN parliamentarian that I reported earlier, Prime Minister Hun Sen could be behind this. But on the other hand, he said that they cannot tolerate and forgive those who committed to this. He explained that Prime Minister Hun Sen, in a rare televised address, called to come and said that those who dragged the lawmakers out of their cars and kicked them on the ground following a rally on Monday would be brought to justice. And the two Cambodia National Rescue Party lawmakers were attacked after a demonstration by supporters of the ruling CPP outside of the National Assembly. Hun Sen has been central to a war of words with the CNRP and criticized the party for staging protests during his recent visit to Paris and the United Nations in New York, which he said lacked honor and dignity. And also the CNRP, on the other hand, accused Hun Sen of ceding sovereign territories to historic for Vietnam, the latest attempt to portray him as the stooge of Hanoi, which reels him a lot. He has ruled Cambodia for 3 decades, surprise, surprise, and has recently engaged in some saber-rattling of his own, warning a CNRP victory in 2018 election. Upcoming Cambodian election would see a return to civil war. Hun Sen's address on Wednesday was uncharacteristically short at 11 minutes. Of course, his speeches are unpredictable and go on for so long as he wanted to. In fact, it can be longer than 5 hours. I will take a short break. When we return, we will discuss more political news from Southeast Asia.
ASEAN Dailies. First and the foremost news from Southeast Asia.
Welcome back. This is Arlene and you're with Durian ASEAN. So, regarding on the political side of Southeast Asia, I want to go to Myanmar. Apparently, Myanmar students are on hunger strike, and they are getting support from a lot of the civil society group. The Human Rights Defenders Forum today announced its support to Aung Myang San, a student leader who is on hunger strike, calling for the release of all the political prisoners across Myanmar. The student, a member of the All Burma Federation of Student Unions, or Bakata, started the strike on October 23rd. He was arrested along many other students and supporters when police brutally cracked down on their protest camp in Lapadan Township, Bago region. More than 70 individuals were arrested, charged and sent to prison in early 2015 for their roles in protests against the national education law. And according to the Assistant Association for Political Prisoners and Amnesty International, there are nearly 100 political prisoners currently in Myanmar, with hundreds more awaiting trial. In the past weeks, there were another series of arrests of human rights defenders for peaceful activism, including Cho Sanditun, Patrick Kun Jali, Kin Cho, Tin Cho Zolutso, and numerous others. And earlier, the group united to support Aung Myang San call for by wearing shirts reading "Release all political prisoner," and they marched to Mandalay Mort, where a rally was held. They plan similar events in the future in other parts of Myanmar. The Human Rights Defenders Forum Steering Committee is comprised of committed Myanmar and international individuals and organizations working for protection of human rights defenders in Myanmar. The statement was endorsed by several rights groups in Myanmar, including Action Committee for Democracy and Development, National Youth Congress, Yangon Youth Network, Equality Myanmar, Human Rights Educators Network, Pandita Development Institute, Green Trust Pune or Leun, Smile Education and Development Foundation, Generation Wave, Forum for Democracy in Burma, Genuine People Servant, Women Peace Network Arakan, and Civil Rights Defender. Moving on from Myanmar, we go to Malaysia. Recently, there was a report released by the Human Rights Watch on a report titled "Creating a Culture of Fear, Decriminalizing of Peaceful Dissent in Malaysia," which was released on October 27, 2015. The report by an international rights group accused Malaysia of resorting to criminal laws by silencing free speech, is exaggerated and does not reflect reality. That was the point of view expressed by the Malaysian government after the report was released on that day. And the Malaysian government has defended its track record after an international rights group accused it of resorting to criminal laws to silence free speech. And the rights group report said that Malaysia has cultivated a culture of fear through laws including the Sedition Act, the Printing Presses and Publications Act, the Communications and Multimedia Act, the Peaceful Assembly Act, and various provisions of the Penal Code. And for Brad Adams, the Asia director of Human Rights Watch, he viewed that this is the situation that Malaysian authorities have put themselves now, which is a country with the opposition leader in prison, with critics being charged, sometimes investigated and sometimes put in prison, and massive corruption and an unresponsive government. One might think he might be talking about Burma or Cambodia, but no, he's talking about Malaysia. And talking about Malaysian government, they have dismissed the report, saying that it doesn't reflect the reality of life in Malaysia. According to Nazri Aziz, Malaysian Tourism and Culture Minister, he said that, "Yeah, all Malaysians, how do you feel being in this country? You feel it's like Zimbabwe, like Libya? That's their opinion. It's okay. We can tolerate it. It's no problem. I think what's important is to stay here and to experience it." That's what he responded to the report released by Human Rights Watch. While, according to Rohani Abdul Karim, Malaysia Minister for Women, Family and Community Development, said that there has not been a charge in Malaysian laws, but in its citizens. Despite all the laws in Malaysia, she thinks that Malaysians are getting more vocal, that that's what she can express. She mentioned that to an international news channel. Last time they were not as vocal under the same law. However, lawyers and activist Ambika Srinivasan said that ultimately legislation is not Malaysia's biggest obstacle to safeguard human rights. She felt that if Malaysians can eradicate corruption, we can get rid ourselves of many of these human rights abuses, but unfortunately, corruption is still endemic. Malaysia is still fighting against corruption, and its legislation does not look set to change anytime soon. Hotly debated laws such as the Internal Security Acts were abolished by Prime Minister Najib himself on his first term. Under the current term, however, more laws have been introduced to safeguard national security, and all laws such as the Controversial Sedition Act have been strengthened, in fact. From Malaysia, we move on to the larger aspect of ASEAN. ASEAN is calling for global cooperation to achieve the development goal. I'm talking about the SDG, Sustainable Development Goal. ASEAN needs to work in synergy with the international parties to achieve the new goals of sustainable development that place the environmental cooperation on top of the agenda of the summit on climate change to be held next December. The message marked the speech of Le Luang Min, General Secretary of the ASEAN, which, while inaugurating here today the 13th Ministerial Environment meeting of the bloc and events related to that meeting, which is expected to adopt a statement from the conference in Paris. Although the environmental protection is a priority of the regional and global agenda, this area faces a crisis in terms of environmental degradation and the systems that support life on Earth. Among the impact of climate change that Southeast Asia had suffered, he mentioned the continuing decline in sources of fresh water and crops yield at the expense of food security, the increasing loss of forests and agricultural land, and the rising of sea level threatening coastal communities. To those effects are added the health damage resulting from the deteriorating air quality, which is the haze, of course, which were exemplified with the worsening of the pollution caused by the haze in this region. ASEAN also is an active participant of the UN Framework Convention on Climate Change. Therefore, ASEAN has a greater responsibility to address issues regarding on climate change in this region. In addition to that, the Minister of Natural Resources and Environment, Nguyen Minh Quan, urged to increase the technical assistance and resources in cooperation within ASEAN and among the bloc and the aforementioned groups to control the negative impact caused by the climate change, pollution, and environmental degradation. That was reported from Hanoi. Anyway, we'll take a short break. When we return, we'll discuss on the on the economic side of Southeast Asia.
ASEAN Dailies. First and the foremost news from Southeast Asia.
Welcome back. This is Arlene. On the economic side of Southeast Asia, surprise, surprise, Indonesia will join the Trans-Pacific Partnership. This is what Jokowi told Obama. President Jokowi declared after the White House meeting that he will sign up to TPP, but he might actually risk provoking anger among protectionists at home. Barack Obama has won Indonesia's endorsement for a contentious Trans-Pacific trade deal, with the country's president promising to join. During a meeting with the U.S. president at the White House, Joko Widodo raised the ire of economic nationalists at home, declaring Indonesia intends to join the TPP. The reality is Indonesia is an open market with a population of 250 million or quarter of a billion, and they are the largest economy in Southeast Asia. And 12 countries are currently part of the Trans-Pacific Partnership, including Australia, Canada, Japan, Mexico, Vietnam, and the US, creating the world's largest free trade area in what is seen by some as a counterbalance to the growing Chinese economic power in the region. Jokowi's endorsement is a political victory for Obama, nevertheless, who is steering an already completed pact through a hostile Republican-controlled Congress and without the full backing of his Democratic Party. In fact, Hillary Clinton, in her 2016 election forefront, said that the deal falls short of the high bar she had set for helping U.S. interests. Obama had claimed that the TPP has the strongest labor and environmental standards of any trade deals signed by the US, but we never know. We haven't seen yet the document, unfortunately. Jokowi commented that he will also raise hope that he will help the world's most populous Muslim nation fully realize its economic potential. Right now, Indonesia's economy is definitely one of the worst in Southeast Asia, especially with the rupiah falling down hard, and its export is not growing any faster, as well as its economy needs some kind of boost, and the TPP might be an answer to it. Jokowi's visit to the White House was the first by an Indonesian president in a decade and came exactly a year after the former furniture salesman became the president last year. In surviving even the long he has defied skeptics who predicted he would quickly flounder in oligarch-dominated Indonesian politics. In the Oval Office, Obama offered his own endorsement, praising the economic reform efforts of a fellow 54 years old of Jokowi. Interestingly, Jokowi and Obama has a very similar background and path of becoming the politician that they are now, and also the prime minister and president that they are now. But unfortunately, he has a battle to deal with back home, Jokowi, because Indonesia is a notoriously protectionist economy, has been stymied by systemic corruption, lower commodity prices, and China's economic slowdown. Unemployment is among the vast ranks of Indonesia's youth, stand at more than 20%, and efforts to attract investors have been undercut by economic nationalism, vested interests, and red tape. So definitely this is something that needs to be dealt with Jokowi. Nevertheless, he also need to deal the huge haze at home and in the region of Southeast Asia. Moving on from Indonesia, we go to Thailand. Thailand is falling 3 places in the doing business ranking. Thailand has retained its position among the top 50 economies worldwide and has ranked 3rd among the ASEAN countries on the ease of doing business, though falling 3 places from the previous annual survey. This is according to the World Bank Group report. It is ranked at 49 among 189 economies in 2015, compared to 46 in 2014 in the doing business measuring quality and efficiency report. Elsewhere, from the 10 consecutive year, Singapore has ranked number 1 in the world. And also among the 20 other top economies are New Zealand, Republic of Korea, Hong Kong, Taiwan, and Australia, and Malaysia at number 18. Moving on from Thailand, we go to Cambodia. China's expansion globally through its One Belt, One Road strategy of land and sea link will help its strongest partner in Southeast Asia, Cambodia, to fulfill its economic development goals. Participants at the Maritime Silk Road China-Cambodia Forum in Phnom Penh were told Chinese ambassador to Cambodia, Bu Jiangguo, said that the initiation of the One Belt, One Road strategy is in line with Cambodia's obvious development goal. The two principles and plan of building the Silk Road economic belt and the 21st century maritime Silk Road are the connection from the South China Sea to the Indian Ocean until Europe and the Chinese seaport connection. Cambodia sits in the middle of Indochina, is also an important member of ASEAN, so Cambodia has a special potential among the countries linking the maritime Silk Road. Between 1994 and 2012, China has invested a total of 9.17 billion in Cambodia. Definitely Cambodia is a very important trade partner to China, with most of the investments going into agriculture, infrastructure, garments and mining, according to the Council for the Development of Cambodia. We'll take another short break. When we return, we'll discuss on the arts and culture side of Southeast Asia.
ASEAN Dailies. First and the foremost news from Southeast Asia.
Welcome back. This is Arlene and you are listening to ASEAN Daily. And of course, ASEAN, when it comes to ASEAN, interesting news about the arts and culture side. GOASEAN, which is a travel show on can be watched on Astro Malaysia, backs 2 international award, which is the best Asia Pacific destination website at the 8th Travel Mall Asia Pacific Web Awards, as well as the Silver 2015 International Davy Award. These are the latest awards. Mean GOASEAN has swept 5 awards within 7 months after its launch here this year. The awards were announced at ITB Asia, a major Asian travel trade show held in Singapore last week. The award recognizes excellence in web, social, mobile, and travel technology deployments, and is judged by a panel consisting of online travel experts, and nominations sent in by over 65,000 Australia and Asia Pacific travel trade readers. The Davy Awards honor the creative achievement of small agencies worldwide in web design, video, advertising, mobile, and social media. The immediate response by Culture and Tourism Minister Datuk Sri Muhammad Nazri Aziz was that the prestigious award signified the effectiveness and uniqueness of GOASEAN's platform in showcasing ASEAN as a single tourism destination. Indeed, GOASEAN takes advantage of an effective mix of digital, social, and creative excellence in positioning itself as an engaging channel to expand the unique offerings of Southeast Asia. GOASEAN is available on Astro Channel 737 in Malaysia and Brunei, as well as through mobile platforms worldwide. More information can be found at goasean.com. Moving on, also in Malaysia is about Rajinikanth. Did he get rid of haze in Malaysia? If you are wondering who is that person, he is a movie star from India who has a cult-like following in Malaysia, and is in Malaysia right now to film the movie Kabali. For nearly 2 months, smoke have drifted from the Indonesian forest and agriculture fires to large expanses of Southeast Asia, covering Malaysia in a blanket of smoke. But amazingly, the haze cleared up 2 days ago when Rajinikanth arrived, and today, after nearly 2 months, the city skyline was visible again. That is one of the most viral memes via the internet is one that claims that since the arrival of Rajinikanth, the haze has simply disappeared. Social media users seems convinced that the superstar's arrival has something to do with this sudden miracle, which is kind of funny. And one of the social media user, Vimla Srinivas, said that Rajinikanth stepped in and haze stepped out. In fact, one of the social media user, Ramesh Vadivelu, stated on his Facebook, even the haze gives way to Thalaiva, which is Rajinikanth's fans fondly refer to him as Thalaiva or leader. And one of the social media user, Darren Zhong Teo, said that Rajinikanth must have sneezed that caused the haze to be blown away, which is funny. A lot of really funny memes and funny quotes about Rajinikanth, but of course, obviously, he's here for a movie shooting, and it could be the wind that causes the haze to be cleared away for a couple of days. I hope not just for a couple of days, obviously. But yeah, the haze will be here, reported to be here until January, so brace ahead, Malaysians. That's all from us today, and I hope that you enjoy our ASEAN Daily, and I definitely hope that you have a great morning for this very beautiful Thursday morning. And on the other hand, you can always keep it up with us via our social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and our YouTube podcast, where we have most of our videos and audio shots. And of course, you can always keep up with us via your mobile by downloading our app, Durian ASEAN app, by searching the word Durian ASEAN. Thank you. Bye.